Well, I'm going to welcome in Josh here for a second, but there we go. Josh, how you doing?
Ross, your mask scared me.
Well, thank you very much. But before we give it to you for your normal stuff that you talk about, whatever you talk about.
My normal stuff? How about all the updates in all of Impact Wrestling, and you just call it stuff?
It's stuff. I'm going to call you out.
Okay, what are you calling me out on?
I'm going to call you out on your antics last week. We had Sam Callahan right here, and you questioned me about something, and I'm not even going to address it. I got somebody else, you don't even know how he's on the call here, would like to speak to you about this.
Okay.
The disrespect from Josh Matthews and Sami Callahan throwing me, ravishing Rohit Raju under the bus, saying that I would get smoked by the great Gama Singh is ridiculous. I couldn't believe what I heard last week. Now, let's get this straight. Gama's great. He's obviously the great Gama, but I am the future, young, mocha-skinned animals such as myself. I took pity and respect on Gama. You saw that punch? I could have punched him right in his mouth, but no, I didn't need to do that. I couldn't believe what I heard last week, that I would get whooped by Gama Singh. And I don't have to worry about, because I know Gama's not going to listen to this, so you ain't got to tell me, Josh. You ain't got to go rat-tattling to the great Gama about this. But I know for a fact, I could have took him. I could have took Gama. I can't believe what I heard. I can't believe it.
I can guarantee you, Josh is right now texting Gama. Guarantee it.
Don't do that. You don't need to do that. You put your phone down, Josh. Just chill out.
What I will say, Rohit, is that I think you might have misunderstood or misheard what you think you heard last week. I said that I thought you would win no problem. So I don't know what Ross might have told you or manipulated the audio recording from last week. I would never say that about you.
Yeah. 2018, technology nowadays, you can do that type of stuff. Right.
You can do anything. Yeah, man.
Right.
So I apologize for Ross. And hey, you passed the ultimate test.
Yeah, things are fine now with the Disney Hit Squad. In case anybody was wondering, I'm sure people all across the globe are wondering what's going on. We're good. We're good. Some little bit of tough love there, but we're fine. We're fine. We got Raj. We got him in there, the big man. So we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be good.
So we're gonna find out exactly who this guy is tomorrow night on Impact. From what I understand, Gama has been very close-lipped about who this gentleman is, their relationship. You just kind of spilled the beans a little bit there. So his name is Raj.
You just know his name. That's all we really know about him. Everything else, we'll let Great Gama unveil. So we'll be good. And I think 2.0, Daisy Hit Squad 2.0, we're going to do some things. So.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate you calling. I know that this, Ross wanted to sort of call me out, but, I think it's great what you guys are doing and really looking forward to seeing what happens tomorrow night on Impact with you and Gama and whoever this gentleman is. Hopefully you guys can make some waves in the tag team division.
We'll see. We'll see what happens in Vegas.
Hey, Rohit, thanks for joining us for a quick little call-in, and don't listen to Josh. He completely threw you under the bus.
I believe it. I totally believe it. Sammy, too. I had to talk with Sammy.
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Rohit. And Josh, the floor is yours with your updates, not your stuff, your updates.
So we thank Rohit, obviously, for calling in, and we're going to see what happens Thursday with Gama and Rohit and whoever this gentleman is. I hope we get some updates on that tomorrow night on brand new Impact. Don't forget, guys, 10 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, November 1st. Also, LAX, speaking of tag teams, LAX will face Matt Sydal and Ethan Page. This was reported as a tag team championship match earlier this week. It's not. Sydal and Page haven't earned the opportunity to challenge for the tag team titles yet, but if they can somehow defeat the Red Hot LAX, who are just coming off of the Chris Jericho cruise, then they'll earn a future World Tag Team Championship match. Speaking of champions, former world champion Pentagon Jr. will face Homicide in the main event, and so many intertwining stories with that one with the OGs and Conan, and you guys will have to tune into Impact tomorrow night to get all the updates on that. Two friends are going to go one-on-one in Rich Swann versus Willie Mack. I just had the privilege of seeing a brand new Rich Swann t-shirt that'll be available on shopimpact.com soon. It'll probably be available in Las Vegas first. I have to say it's pretty cool. It's pink. I dig it. And also tomorrow night, one of the guests, obviously the guest of honor, on our press pass today, Taya Valkyrie goes one-on-one with Tessa Blanchard. We'll talk to Taya all about that when we bring her on. We also, of course, have Las Vegas coming up in, 10, 11 days, Ross? We leave in the 11th, 12th, and 13th, Sam's Town Casino. You can get tickets at samstownlv.com. You can get VIP packages at impactwrestling.com. We are bringing back some swag bags for our VIP purchasers and some Vegas-themed merchandise as well in Las Vegas, the 11th to 13th. On the 16th, BCW's 25th anniversary will air on Global Wrestling Network at 8 p.m., and that takes us to the end of November, December. Then we've got Homecoming, of course, in January on the 6th. Impact TV tapings on the 7th. And then I think the first one night only in 2019, official, is with, I just did it today, PPW, I believe, Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling. Yeah. One night only, New Beginnings. That'll be available. That'll be taped, on January 26th. In Pennsylvania, and just stay close to impactwrestling.com for all the updates on all the shows that we have going on into the new year. Ross will keep me honest on if I missed anything, but I don't think I did.
No, Josh, actually, I think you were spot on that.
Well, this is what we do, Ross. This is, we talk about Impact all day, 24/7.
24/7. And the thing is, I actually text you 24/7. I don't always get a reply 24/7, but I do usually blow up your phone at all hours.
Well, I will say this: if you try to get me tonight, I don't think you will. My day started at 3 a.m. Eastern time today, so I feel like I'm getting towards the end of my day.
All right. Well, I think we have to bring in Lucha Royalty at this point. She's been sitting very patiently. Lucha Royalty, Taya, welcome to the Press Pass podcast.
Hello, everybody, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. you get dressed up like you like the get a costume and all that stuff.
Oh my gosh, Halloween's been my favorite day of the year since I was very, very small, and I would pick out the outfit that my mom would be forced to sew for me. So if you can't tell by my wrestling gear, I'm really into costuming. So yes. I love Halloween.
I can't. I feel like I'm like the Grinch. I don't care about Halloween or Christmas or the kid gets excited, so I get excited about that. But as an adult, I don't care.
For some reason that just does not surprise me.
I make Johnny Impact, and I have my outfits, the dog, Presley's matching. It's a big ordeal. It's a big.
All right.
A big.
Hey, Taya, if I can jump in and ask you, I talked to Tessa earlier today. She had some interviews, and she said she was going to dress as Taya for Halloween. I don't know if that was a joke or that's what just she was saying. You reply to that, and are you going to dress as Tessa today?
I don't want to dress as Tessa because she looks mad and grumpy all the time, and Halloween makes me happy. So no. No. We got some fun things planned for later on tonight when Johnny Impact finally gets home from the Jericho cruise. So it's gonna be good.
Favorite candy?
Henry bars. That's a Canadian thing. Actually, they don't have them in America, and it makes me really sad.
Josh, do you have a favorite candy?
No, I don't need candy, Russ. I'm an adult. What's the closest thing in America to an O. Henry bar?
Well, it's kind of like a Snickers, but it has like a nougaty inside. And when I was little, that's my mom's favorite chocolate bar too. So she would go through my bag and say that she was checking my candy, but I would like have all the O. Henry bars disappear. And she was actually just eating, she was just here for my birthday because my birthday was like a week and a half ago. She was just visiting us in LA, and she brought me like all these O. Henry bars. And then Johnny Impact discovered the O. Henry bars. And now I literally was like, stop eating my mini O. Henry bars. They're hard. Like, I'm like, those are imported. Stop it.
Ross, before we open up the phone lines, Ty, I want to talk about transitioning away from Halloween and candy, but Bound for Glory and what happened. You hit Road to Valhalla. I mean, I think in every story on ImpactWrestling.com about the knockouts, this gets brought up. And I'd like to talk to Brandon Toll, who was the referee for that match. But you hit the move, and he opts to go and fix the ring skirt. And, I mean, obviously you got to get, foreign objects out of the ring, and somebody can trip or whatever the case may be. But he hesitates and perhaps costs you the championship. Are you mad at Brandon?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, I completely understand what the job of a referee is and to be, removing things that are in the ring that shouldn't be there and everything. But really, like, at that moment, you had to do that. I mean, it's like I don't want to blame Brandon, but I want to blame the other person because she's smart and she's tricky and she'll grasp at straws and grasp at anything. She thinks she's losing. So, I mean, I don't know. I do not ever want to make excuses for anything. So I really hope that everyone knows that I'm not making excuses. I just know that, I'm bringing my best package right now to Impact, and I want that opportunity again, and I'm getting that opportunity tomorrow night on Impact. So
have you asked for Brandon not to be the referee in this match?
I didn't specifically ask because honestly, it's just, I know that I just don't want, I don't want to make excuses. Like, it could be any referee and he would have taken that, skirt and put it out, I feel, because that's their job. And I feel like all of our Impact referees are doing a good job. So I don't really think it necessarily matters. I'm just hoping that Tessa has her mind right and she's ready for La Huera Loca, for what I have, for my experience, for everything. And I'm bringing it 120 billion % tomorrow on Impact. So.
Yeah, it should be a great match tomorrow, the rematch between Taya Valkyrie and Tessa Blanchard from Bound for Glory. And again, I'm not blaming Brandon. I wanted to get your point of view on it. I think that, to your point, it is a really tough job of a referee to, he went out, made sure that wasn't a part of the ring so somebody doesn't pull or twist an ankle or something more dangerous could happen. And he just missed, a split second there, and we saw how that match unfolded. Maybe Thursday, tomorrow night will be different for you.
Yes, I'm hoping it is, and this is what we're here for. We're two warriors trying to win, so I'm coming to win on Thursday. So,
Ross, you want to open up the phone lines?
Perfect. Media, what we'll do is we'll star 6 if you want to get in queue. Please identify yourself, your media outlet, and one question alone for Taya.
Q&A session has started. To ask your question, please press star 6.
Good evening, Taya. It's Adam at the Impact Lounge UK. How are you this evening?
I'm very good this morning.
Oh, this morning, sorry. Wrong side of the Atlantic. Anyway, I just wanted to ask, well, congratulations, first of all, on what I thought was match of the night at Bound for Glory there. But,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What I wanted to ask was the shift in your character since returning, because obviously before last year's Bound for Glory, you were very much in the heel role, and coming back, you're now very much in a face role facing Taya. The question I had was, what's brought about that change, and was it something that you prefer to do and pushed for on your return?
I mean, I think that if you know my career, you know that I've tried to evolve and change and, transform. I feel like a character can be the same but change at the same time. just like people, characters in movies or television shows. So, I mean, with everything that's happened in my personal life, I feel like that shifts certain things in my character. The last year had so many ups and downs from, waiting for a long time to become a permanent resident in the U.S., which didn't permit me to travel, to being so happy and be elated with my, marrying the man of my dreams, to, us buying a house, to this, to that. Like, it's just been so many ups and downs personally that, like, it just felt like after everything and all the time that went by, I wasn't the same. I was not the same person. I had changed. I had worked harder on myself. I worked harder on my self-esteem. I worked harder on my wrestling. I was working harder personally on, my personal life. And I just created all these goals and these new goals and aspirations for my comeback to Impact. But there was no way I could return the same. So what you're seeing is just like an evolution of me personally, of myself outside of wrestling, and now in the Impact Zone. And I'm feeling very happy with the way that it's come. I felt like there was like a new fire lit in me at Bound for Glory. I'm nervous all the time for matches, but I felt like that was like very intense for me, and I'm sure that it showed. So, I think this is a very positive thing. You're just seeing me in my natural element right now. So I hope everyone's enjoying it, and it is only going to change and grow from here. So.
Absolutely, and thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, this is Ian Carey from SE Scoops, and I just first like to mention that the great Gama Singh did get a visual pin on Rohit Raju last week. Never mind. In the build-up to Bound for Glory, you were the victim of cyberbullying, which is something that impacts a lot of young people, particularly middle school students, teenagers. I'm wondering if you have any advice or comments to fans of yours who look up to you and might be experiencing something similar.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was bullied a lot growing up. So I have so much like personal emotion and connection to that kind of stuff. And I can't imagine what it's like now. I mean, for me, it's hard even as an adult. So as a child, to be growing up in a world of social media and where everyone can hide behind a screen and a laptop and a keyboard and say whatever they want. I mean, for me as a grown-ass woman, it was hard. So I don't know. It's just, everyone, this is life. Be nice to each other. Like, I don't understand why people have to feel the need to say certain things. I was not taught to act like that. I didn't grow up in a family that taught me to act like that. My friends and I support each other. You can, dislike somebody, but you don't have to be, you just don't have to act like that. This world is full of really bad people, and like, we just don't need that kind of attitude and stuff being spewed out in the universe when there are so many positive things happening. And to any child that's listening, or a fan of mine, or teenager, adult, someone who's older than me, like, hold your head up high, because at the end of the day, you're the only person in this entire world and universe that it's like you. So yeah, not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to think you're nice. Not everybody's going to think you're pretty or whatever it is. But there's a huge amount of people out there that do love you. So keep your head up and move forward.
Great. Thanks very much, Taya.
Hi, this is Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc. Thank you guys very much for taking the time to chat today.
Hi.
Taya, I wanted to ask. I'm really enjoying your husband Johnny on Survivor. I'm a big Survivor fan. Do you have any interest in going to the island at all?
Oh my gosh, absolutely not. It was hard enough for me to be away from him for that long, and it was a really hard time in my life because I was planning our wedding and like doing all these, getting everything prepared. And people don't realize that when someone goes on a show like that, you cannot speak to them at all. So I didn't speak to him for almost 2 months. And anyone that was in my personal circle knew how hard that was for me. I have no interest in putting him through that. And I also I think I would be interested more in doing something like the Amazing Race or a competition based shows that way and have John as my partner. And I also do not do well with starving or being cold. So I would be a horrible survivor. I would not do well. And I can get very hangry. So I don't think that anybody should have to witness that on television.
All right. And Josh, are you still there? Or Josh Lee?
Still here, buddy.
Okay, I got a question. I have a question for you too, Josh, since I've got you. I asked last week about the time change. Obviously, there was a drop in viewership, which you guys were expecting, but it was pretty significant. I just was wondering if you had any notes about how the DVR viewership was, or if you guys had any talks with Pop TV about possibly moving the time slot back.
Well, everyone gets so caught up in these overnights. So no, I haven't even looked over at the DVR numbers yet. But then, the most important number that everyone needs to really start honing in on is what our key demo is and what that number is. More so than when the over. I mean, yeah, we expected a drop. To see a drop like we saw wasn't a surprise. It was okay. This is what 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock looks like. But it's that key demo number. And, again, I'll say the same thing I said last week. I don't know what night of the week my favorite shows are on because I watch everything on Hulu and I watch everything on Netflix. At this point, I'm 38 with a kid, so we don't have the luxury of sitting down when our shows are on. We watch them when we can. So I think that in 2018, that's the way people have to watch Impact, and 10 p.m. Every Thursday from here for the rest of the year, and so on. That's what our time slot looks like. There hasn't been any talk of changing that based on 1 week from last week. And also, whenever a show changes, any show, even if it changes from 7 to 8 or 8 to 9. Or backwards, you're going to see a drop because of just the trending, the way that people watch their shows. They forget, they don't update their DVR, and that number is always affected. When we switched SmackDown, when I was there, SmackDown switched 3 or 4 times, and that first week always took a big hit.
All right. Thank you guys very much for the time.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Ross?
Well, you didn't have a question for me, so I got a question for you. I'm going to call you out in front of Taya. How far is Johnny Impact going to go on Survivor?
I don't know I'm sure there's been bedside manner conversations or whatever, but here's my theory, all right? I think he's going to make it at least to the merge. And the reason I say that is because he's too valuable when it comes to challenges and just general camp morale, which has been a big factor this season if you're watching.
Camp morale, and he looks really hot. Okay? Come on.
Yeah. So I think he makes it at least to the merge, right? Now, I think that he's probably going to surprise folks. I'm pinning him in the top 4, personally. I think him and Christian are a dangerous alliance together, brains and brawn combined. So I think he's going to do well.
Final 4, huh?
Secrecy, so I can't say anything at all.
Yeah, I don't want to hear what Taya has to say. She knows too much, but that's what I think is going to happen.
Wow. Hey, Josh, are you going to stick with that Final 4?
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Caught you off guard there, Josh, didn't I?
No, you didn't, Ross.
Okay. Hey, Taya, I do have
your guys' banter is killing me right now.
Hey, Taya, I got a quick update from Colin up in our Toronto office. O. Henry is available in select regions of the U.S. They sell them at Walmart, among other places.
What?
Yeah.
Well, here is a call out to all my fans. Bring me O. Henry because I never see them anywhere.
Well, we will look for them, and maybe Josh will bring you some in Las Vegas. We'll go to a question from Cody Simmons. He'd like to know if Impact brought back the Knockouts Tag Team Division, who would be your first pick as a partner?
Ooh, that's a hard one. There's so many changes and stuff and shifts in people right now. So I would have to think about that. I don't think I could just make a quick decision. And there's also some missing players that I feel that if they came back, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to think about it. It's like I'd have to think about that one for a while.
Okay.
Hi guys, hi Taya, how are you? I'm Joel Torres from Contralona, Puerto Rico.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, how are you?
Very good, very good.
That's great. My question, very quick. We know a lot about you from your wrestling days in Mexico, especially with the AAA, being crowned as the Reina de Reinas champion. I think it was 945 days that you were champion, right?
Yes, longest reigning champion.
Exactly. So my question is, are you willing to repeat that amazing record if crowned as Impact Wrestling's knockout champion?
Absolutely. I feel like when you become a champion and the face of a company and you're put, in that position and have that responsibility, I would hold that like to all levels of importance. And, I will defend that championship wherever, whenever, against whoever and whatever part of the world. And I'm completely prepared to do that. So bring it on.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
No, por nada.
So we're going to go to a question from Andrew Poe, who'd like, would you describe the differences backstage between Impact Wrestling and Lucha Underground?
You can't compare apples to oranges and bananas and carrots. Like, it's two very different scenarios because Lucha Underground is a episodical, television series, whereas Impact is a traditionally run traditional wrestling show. So there's a lot of differences just in the way we film things, in the way that backstage vignettes are done. But I mean, the overall morale of the crew and the overall morale of the roster is so similar. I feel like we all feed off each other's energy. We're all there to work really, really hard. We all want to do something different. And I feel like, to a certain degree, I always used to say that, like, the characters, the people that were on Lucha Underground were kind of a lot of misfits and a lot of, underdogs. And sometimes I feel the same way at Impact, that some of us have been kind of not given the full opportunity, and Impact is doing that for us and putting us on that stage. And we are proving that we are the best. And our knockouts are putting on matches that are the best. And, I don't care what anybody says. That's what I think. And our male roster is doing the same thing. Things are changing. Things are shifting. And I feel like Impact has really, really turned this corner where, we can stand with anybody in that ring. And it's really great. And that's exactly how it is at Lucha. So I'm really proud to be part of both teams.
Hello, this is Carlos from Indie Pro Wrestling. Happy Halloween, and thank you for your time. I do have a question for you. What made you decide to go with Impact Wrestling, and do you see yourself in the long term? Because I feel like you guys need to have like somebody that's established, and I feel like yourself and Tessa can definitely be thought of when you mention Impact Wrestling as like, yeah, these people represent Impact Wrestling.
I mean, Impact came around because I knew a lot of people that were working with them at the time, and the opportunity just, like, I came out of nowhere, really, because I wasn't expecting it due to contractual things and the way that things were written. But things change and contracts change, and things shift, and other people come in charge, and the opportunity was placed in front of me and John, and we couldn't be happier about it. I mean, I am so happy with the way that Tessa and I story and dynamic is right now. I would like to, I've been watching a lot of old wrestling matches and really just trying to be as creative as possible with what I'm bringing to the table. And I feel like Tessa is doing the same thing. And I just hope that this feud can go on for a very long time. I want people to think of us as, compare our feud to some people such as the amazing Gail Kim and Awesome Kong, or something like a Trish and a Mickie James, or whatever it is. I mean, those people are legends in my eyes, and I am so far not at that level yet, but I would love for this feud to grow and evolve and be a long-term thing that could be taken anywhere and taken around the world, and really be be an example of the evolution of women's wrestling right now. What, me coming from my background and her coming from her background can represent, and how two completely different people can create such an interesting, telling a story, an interesting story, and also just bring the wrestling, the high flying, the fast footwork, absolutely all that stuff that people talk about in male wrestling and the evolution of them, but in female wrestling as well, and bring the traditional side of storytelling. So I hope that we can just keep this going for a while, because this has really been a dream so far. So.
Tiger, we're going to skip to a question from Toby Clovis, who would like to know, what is the coolest Halloween costume you've ever rocked?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I've been so many things, and I don't think I could pick a favorite. I mean, I think I've been posting a lot of old Halloween costumes lately, just because obviously, like we were saying before, I'm obsessed with Halloween. So there's a lot of fun stuff that's on my Instagram if everyone wants to go check it out. And this past weekend, me and my girlfriends, we dressed up as Barbie dolls on one night, and then the next night we were dressed up as bugs, and we had the most amazing time. So I don't know. I feel like every year you try to outdo the year before. So that's exactly what I try to do. So I can't really say that I have an absolute favorite, because they've all been funny and fun in their own way. So.
Well, before we move back to media questions, we do have one other question from Pam Hills, and I'm going to add one sentence on her question of excluding O. Henry. So the question is, what Canadian foods do you miss when you're in the States, and vice versa? We'll take O. Henry out of the equation on this question.
Well, ketchup chips, obviously, but I do see that those are sneaking into the States. I've been to certain places and they have them, which is craziness to me. So I would say ketchup chips. I would also say Timbits, and those also you can find at certain places where there are some Tim Hortons in America. And I get really upset when I go to Dunkin' Donuts, because they have, I don't know what they call them, but fake Timbits, and those are not the real deal. So I would definitely say Timbits and ketchup chips.
Hey, Taya, Sean Rossap of Fightful.com here. You've worked a lot in Mexico, you've worked a lot in America and Canada. What are some of the differences that you face when switching back and forth? Because a lot of the people that I've talked to have explained maybe working a different side of the body, rolling instead of bumping, things like that.
I mean, obviously, when I first went to Mexico, I was straight out of Storm Wrestling Academy in Calgary. Shout out to Lance and everyone out there. So I really I was not familiar with lucha style whatsoever. So that at first was really, really hard, like exactly all the things that you're mentioning. But I feel like now I can go between both styles, and I try to blend them in my own way. Because I did lucha libre in Mexico for over 5 years. And that is a huge part of my career. So many of the ways that I do things are influenced by that style. So I enjoy, even though I was a ruda, I was a heel for forever and ever and ever. And some people would say you shouldn't be high flying or whatever. I would still incorporate high flying and moonsaults and crossbodies and tornillos and pescados and all this kind of stuff. And I also try to make my movements faster because it's more acrobatic down there. And then, I mean, depending on who I'm wrestling against, I can go right or left side. So I bet it's just over time you become used to changing back and forth and really just evolving with who you're wrestling against. And even when I was wrestling in Japan, because I did 2 tours in Japan, I was there with AAA and I was also there with Stardom. A lot of the influences with the girls in Stardom were from Mexico, like Io Shirai spent some time in Mexico, so we were able to use all 3 different styles and really do something different. So, I mean, it is fun to play with all the different styles of wrestling. That's why not one style is correct or wrong or whatever. It's to each their individual interpretation. And I think that the Taya Valkyrie style is a blend of all these things that have influenced me. So.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Hey guys, Riju from Sportskira here. I had a quick question for Josh before I move to Taya. I just read a report that Ring of Honor has defeated Impact Wrestling aboard the Jericho Cruise. Does Josh have any thoughts on this?
No. Sorry, Raj, I don't. I mean, it was to be expected, I suppose. That's interesting news. I think that we'll be able to see that match or that match aired either on the Honor Club or Fight TV. But probably a great. You're talking about the 10-man elimination match, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't see it, so I can't really comment on it. Interesting, I suppose. I'd like to know who the final two were, but I'm sure I'll get a chance to watch that match soon. And I don't know when we're coming back to India, Raj.
Fantastic. Okay, Taya, so hope you're doing great. So you were obviously in one of the best matches at Bound for Glory, but you were also in the thick of things in the main event match. And that is something the world is still talking about. What did you think of how the match played out with Austin Aries at the end?
How censored do I have to be? Well, that was obviously an incredibly intensive match for my husband, for Johnny Impact. I think we definitely saw a completely different side of him in the face of someone like Austin Aries. For me, myself, I have been ringside for many of Johnny's matches in AAA and in Lucha Underground. But this is my first time for Impact. And, yeah, that was an intense one for me. And I was, what happened at the end is very unfortunate, but we cannot, let that take away from how hard Johnny worked to win the Impact Championship, and that he is a perfect example of what a champion should be. And I'm so proud of him. I know he's worked years for this opportunity, and I couldn't think of anybody else that should be representing the company other than him. So it was intense. It was crazy. But in the end, the best man won. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a question from Lee Med who'd like to know, is Lance Storm as intense as he seems?
Lance, I love Lance. Lance has such a great connection with all of his students, and he's always been there for me through, in December, it will be 8 years since my first professional match. I can't believe that. Oh my God. He is very intense as a teacher. He's so knowledgeable, and he just wants to see the best, and he's so honest with all of his students. So, on that level, yes, he is intense, but also he's such a nice person, such a good person. And, I'm very proud and happy that I found him and his school, because I really think that was the foundation that led me to where I am today is him. He's a huge part of that. He's intense, but in the best way possible.
Hi, Tanya. How are you? It's actually Lee Med here now, speaking in person. Just emailed in a question. It was just a very quick one for you. Also, you mentioned you'd been at ringside for many of Johnny's fights throughout his career. Do you find it different now watching him as your husband?
I guess so. The Bound for Glory match is the first match that I've been ringside as his wife, and I guess it was different. It made me feel more. Not that I was ever not concerned, obviously, but it was. I don't know. Anybody who's married knows that when you're married to your best friend and you love that person so much, there's an instant weird connection, even more of a weird connection that happens once you say I do. I can't explain it. Johnny and I have talked about it before. We were always a team, but now we're more of a team, and I really can't even put it into words. So I feel like watching him ringside now is just even more intense, and it makes me want to jump in there even more. The amount of times when Austin kept looking at me, and I was like, I am going to punch this man in the face. it was just like, and I, like it was just that much. I guess it was that much more intense because that is my husband. That's my life partner. That's the person I love and care about the most. And I don't ever want to see him get hurt or have anyone disrespect him. And so, I guess to answer your question, yes, it is different.
Well, thank you.
Hey, Josh, we're going to stick on the marriage front because we have a question for you from Stephen5812. He'd like to know, Josh, are you ever going to save Madison from the undead realm?
Ross, I mean, my wife is perfectly fine. She escaped the undead realm. Very proud of what she's gone on to accomplish. And I mean, if we're being honest about feelings, I mean, that's the way to leave. You build a match, you build to a program, you lose, and you go on and do what you're going to do next. So,
I think she escaped, and she's doing pretty well.
yeah. So
yeah, she escaped in one piece, and she's killing it. So
there you go. Thank you.
Hey, Riju from Sportskida again. I had a quick follow-up. As someone who's brought the in-ring aspect of women's wrestling to the forefront, what is your take on Scarlett Bordeaux's career and her worldwide talent?
Well, I'm not really that familiar with other than what she's doing on Impact because I think she was working with Ring of Honor before. I've met her before and stuff. I really think that she is improving every day and her character is different than anything else we're seeing right now. And, it's characters like that and the things that make people uncomfortable, that make people talk, and controversy creates magic and money. And if that's what we're doing and that's what she's doing and she's gaining success like that, that's awesome. Every woman should find something, that sets them apart. And if that's what's working, then great. Because guess what? She looks good. She can work. And, I think this is just the beginning of what we're going to see from her.
Thank you.
Well, a question come in particularly for Taya, but I think, Josh, actually, you can probably answer this one as well. I'd like to hear your take. Tim Hortons, Dunkin' Donuts, or Starbucks?
Tim Hortons, duh.
I'm a Starbucks guy. I do like Tim Hortons. I don't drink coffee, Ross. I drink coffee at TV, and then at home we don't drink coffee.
But you drink a lot on the road at TV.
I do. I like to drink. Wrestlers drink coffee. So I just drink coffee at TV.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
One other question directed at Josh.
Josh is taking my interview.
Well, I actually do want to get this one because I think it's pretty funny. Josh, how can you not like Halloween or Christmas?
They're for children, So I mean, my kid has, I think, on my private Instagram I posted today, I think she's had like 18 different costumes just for this Halloween, and we've gone everywhere. She's just so through her eyes, it's great, it's fun, but as a grown up, it's not for me.
Not even Christmas doesn't do anything for you.
I don't know. Hey, whatever, Ross. Leave me alone.
You guys need a talk show, like an actual interview show with like Josh and Ross on a Thursday.
It's enough trouble dealing with him once a week on this Press Pass podcast. I can deal with that barely. Josh, any final thoughts there?
Well, I will say that I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I think Impact, despite the fact that it is on at 10 o'clock, I think you should go out of your way, to find it, to DVR it, to watch it any way that you can, and especially with what the girls are doing. And I echo what Taya said earlier. I think that our girls. I told them both after the show at Bound for Glory that I thought the match was very good and one of my favorite matches on the card, and to be married to someone who's gone through all this, as a female wrestler, just trying to find their way, and then, watching what she's done over the past year, to me, I think, personally for me, watching women's wrestling has changed, and I champion these girls more than they probably know, and I really hope that people go out of their way to watch Tessa Taya 2 tomorrow night, because they deliver each and every time they get in the ring. So Taya, thank you for your time today. Yeah.
Hey, Taya, before we let you go, in media, that's the great thing about this podcast is you just never know who's going to show up. So I got one more person that I do want to call. We talked about him earlier, so I'm very fortunate that he can interrupt his day. I have referee Brandon Toll, who's calling in right now. Brandon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Ross. How are you?
Referee? Brandon? You said wrestler.
I said referee. Well, if I did. So, Brandon, we talked about the Bound for Glory match, and certainly your name came up. There was a situation in the match. You just want to talk to us about what you saw in that match?
Yeah, basically, Taya had Tessa in a compromising position, and I've had a chance to actually go back and look at the footage and actually look at the whole thing in its entirety since Bound for Glory. And Tessa took just kind of a low road, bringing in the actual ring apron and actually tying and twisting up and actually bringing it about 2.5 feet or so into the ring. And once she let go of it, it was more of just an instinctual thing for me to go and actually to fix that, because it's a safety hazard. Something could happen to anybody, to either one of them in that ring. So to go actually have to fix that and place it back in position, and then that led to me being out of position and missing after Taya hit the road to Valhalla, which then, obviously video speaks for itself with that. So it was very much a very low move by Tessa to do that. So Taya, we have the public forum here. I apologize to you for being out of position. I did not expect in any way, shape, or form that Tessa was going to go the way she went with it and actually, do what she did with the ring skirt, bringing actually the ring skirt into the ring at that point. So, you've got your rematch coming up tomorrow night. So we'll see. Good luck to you for
Brandon, that. I accept your apology, and I know that it's your job, and I know that you're just watching out for us, because I've actually tripped on ring aprons before, and that's never fun, and no one wants to roll an ankle and all that kind of stuff. But I had her in that one position. I had her pinned at Bound for Glory, and I will do it again tomorrow. So I hope everybody's ready. And just like Josh says, DVR. Everyone has a smart TV now, guys. Come on, and just go out of your way to watch this, because us women wrestlers and everybody on the roster are working so hard to make something so special for all of you fans and really set ourselves apart. So I hope everybody's watching tomorrow night on Pop.
Brandon, thanks so much for calling in. I know you're having a busy day, so thanks for calling in. Taya, I'll give you the floor for a final thought.
Oh, well, thank you guys for having me, and everybody with their questions, allowing me to be myself and speak my mind and explain what's been going on and have a little bit of fun in the meantime with all of you, and also to listen to you two banter back and forth has made my morning. So, and thank you for everybody that's supporting Taya Valkyrie, Johnny Impact, and all the women and all the men on the Impact roster. And keep talking about us, keep watching us, and this has only just begun. So we're closing out 2018 with a bang, just to start off 2019 on fire. So let's keep it going.
All righty, Taya, thank you so much. Rohit, thank you for calling in earlier. Brandon, even Josh Matthews, big thank you to you. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Josh.
Hey, Ross, we're 52 minutes into this call. We'll wrap it up, man.
All right, that's what I'm doing.
Bye.
All right, thanks, everybody. Talk to you next week.
Bye.